Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly... Oh, boy, I still don't have a name for this. Witcher? Master? No, that's not right.
Witch Master?
Witch Master? That's not... I mean, not quite what I am. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I guess I'm your Yaskir. Welcome to our ongoing campaign playing our Talsorian's outstanding The Witcher RPG. And our campaign, this arc of the campaign is called The Season of Ravens. And with me today are the stars of the Season of Ravens campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and then we'll dive into what happened last time. First up is Sean.
Hey, I'm playing Werzium the Witcher from the Viper School.
Nice. And next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Sindai. He's an elf mage.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least is James.
I am playing Selena, the 13-year-old feisty thief.
Nice. So what do you guys remember about the last kind of hunt that we played? Let me see if I got some visual aids here.
So it was the post-Griffin celebratory party, I believe.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. You had an opportunity to speak to Sir Richard.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking with him while I think Sindai and Selena were cutting the rug, cutting some rug.
Whooping it up, yeah.
And Sir Richard was in a chatty mood. Talked about the town where we were headed and its curse a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Said he would help with a suitable blacksmith at the keep of the forefather in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Where we would be shortly.
I think that's about it. Like, there was a lot of role-playing and info dumping last session.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can't give you something to hit this time. I believe where we left things off was with you guys leaving, or intending on leaving the next morning, Midway Village and heading towards the Neck, where the Keep of the Forefathers was located. But we're going to start with Sindaith finding himself in a sadly familiar, if disquieting, location. And Sindaith, you were once again standing in a blackened cave. The light is coming from the end of your staff. Wait, hold on. Do you cast? I can't remember if you can cast light or not.
Oh, I don't know if that's an.
I know you got fireball. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
Magic
remember what others.
spell.
Whether you have that other.
Telekinesis. No, I don't think I have a straight up like light.
Okay,
spell.
so it's a torch, I suppose, that you'd have in your dream then, or maybe just dreaming of getting a light spell.
Yeah, there you go.
And while you can find yourself, or where you find yourself is in, you can feel that you're in a subterranean area. There's the low, worked stone ceiling, roughly worked, not fine the way that, say, a dwarven structure might be, or a tomb or whatever. This is something much more crude and functional. As with your previous dreams, you can hear the fluttering of birds beyond the edge of the flickering torchlight. What birds are doing down in this location, there is no clear answer for that. How does Sindaith feel, having been back down in this vision?
He's uneasy for sure. I mean, this is. I don't know if it's anxiety provoking, but he's definitely uneasy. This is he just does not feel. It doesn't feel natural. I guess.
Yep.
Best way to say it.
Yeah. You seem to be or standing right now at least, at a junction between three shafts or three tunnels. Does he have any sense of where he would go? You cannot see any of the birds, but you can hear them.
He would definitely go on the right-hand path.
Okay. So he turns to the right and begins making your way towards it, and that's when you hear from behind it's almost like it's carried in on a gust of wind or shifting of air. But there is a woman's voice that drifts in saying, "Help." You look back and there's nothing but blackness behind you and the rustling of all those unseen wings and feathers.
He's definitely on edge now. And he would probably... He'd definitely try and kind of figure out where that voice came from.
Sure. Why don't you give
and
us...
move towards it.
And let's see here. Oh, since I was grousing about it. Guys, you know what's on the Flames of Freedom and Blackbird's screens? Game Master screens, respectively?
Skill list.
Full fucking skill list. On both of them. Okay, let's see here. I think... Want to make an awareness check for us, please.
Okay. Thought that skill was better than it is. That's good enough.
Okay, yeah, so you look and it seems as if it is where you were standing when you first, became aware of your surroundings was with a shaft behind you, one to your left, one to your right, and you elected to start moving towards the right, the crunch of the grit the floor crunching underneath your boot, and that's when you heard it from behind you. So you look back, and you can't tell if the shaft is going up, going down. You don't know why your back was to it. But that's where it seemed to have come from. And you're kind of, it's pitch blackness down there. Like the edge of your torchlight, unless it hits a wall, it's just blackness that you're looking at. So you're really straining, and you think at first your eyes may be playing tricks on you when you see a little mote of light from that direction, like something reflecting, something, not a source of light itself, but as if it had caught the the dancing flames from the tip of your torch and reflected it back towards you.
Okay, so yeah, let's he will cautiously move towards the light.
So you begin stepping towards that, and what you find is that this, almost like they emerge out of the darkness, you can see the two walls that lead in to the shaft that was behind you. And unlike the unworked ceiling, these are two finished pillars, elven in quality or in design. And that's when you hear someone's foot has just shifted behind you.
Good Lord, behind me again. So yeah, I'm definitely going to whirl around and see what's there.
You whirl around, and so close that your noses may be touching, you find yourself facing an elven woman. Only in light, at first, you are locked into her jet black eyes that are wet and reflective, though, with the light. So they seem to have you can see the texture of an iris and a pupil within there, but all jet black. And then at first, her hair, you think is just the blackest that you have seen. And it's only when you realize that it's actually at start fine feathers that grow thicker and more lustrous, big mane of feathers that goes back. Her mouth opens, her teeth all black as well, her tongue bluish black. And she says, "You come." And that's when you wake up.
Oh, good Lord.
And you wake with such a start that two of the kids who were playing in here or were playing nearby kind of stop, and then the youngest one begins to eyes well up and begins to cry. The way that kids, sometimes when they're startled,
yeah,
that's just their natural reaction.
Yeah.
Selena and Werzium, you were actually up before, both eating, getting ready to eat your breakfast, and you just heard Sindai start, and he shouted something out in a language neither of you understand. I think Werzium, why don't you say, let's see here. Why did I close the list? Come on. Madison.
Education?
Do you have any training in elder speech?
Where would that be?
Under intelligence. If you don't have it, then education's fine.
Negative. Okay.
Yeah, education.
I've got neither, so it doesn't really.
Oh, okay. So you can give us an education check then.
All right.
Actually, and Selena, you can do that as well. Yeah, maybe it's just weird noises. Both of you, just strange noises from him. Mm-hmm. The kid, the one who's crying, comes running into the room. What happens next then, guys? I guess, Sindai, what do you do?
Yeah, Sindat's going to he's going to get up and get his stuff together and then probably head to find the others.
The thing you see, I think, as you get up is sticking out of, he's not here today, but out of Dr. Gravex pack, he seems to still be stuffing in some of those blackened feathers from that griffin. Because he had recovered several of those for future alchemical uses, and it just...
Yeah, I remember now.
So what do you do?
You joined us, Sindai?
Yeah, I think that's... He's in this weird double state of trying to put the dream behind him, but still trying to figure out what exactly it meant.
Mm.
So he's kind of
another night of sound sleep, Mage.
Nights are troubling for you.
Dreams of ancient caves and long dead elves. Contentious.
Well, we will be changing geography today, so perhaps that will that settle you or ruffle you?
The reference to feathers makes you think what's again.
I know. That's sitting here like looking at him like. Really?
In the film version of the campaign, we'd have a smash cut back to that woman's face once again, and then back to...
Right. Yep.
Because I am, if nothing, a hack.
Movement is better than stagnation.
Hmm.
On our way then. On our way.
Yes.
All right. So, the breakfast is once again hearty, if not flavorful. But the, it's you are given as much as Midway Village is able to a hero's send off as you and Sir Richard and his men at arms head off. Now, where did I put Sir Richard's token? Did I say it? Nope. I don't know where I put him. I am terribly sorry, guys. We have to... He's lost. He seems to have been lost to the ages.
Who is it? Which one are you looking for?
It's Sir Richard's token. How about you? Did I put it down somewhere other thing here? Let's see here.
Gotcha.
I thought I had a token for him. I can find it again, probably fairly easily. But let's see. Let's just do this because I want to have a token for him. Let's see here. Knight. Is there anything you guys wish to do in Midway Village before you head out?
So I guess we had... Did we not have the question of whether to be paid 100 crowns or 200 in kind? I'm not sure we actually dispensed with that.
You haven't spent that money yet, if that's what you're asking. So if you guys do want to... If there's anything you guys wish to have topped up before you head out, you certainly can do that. Did you have a wish list of gear or other things in mind?
Because we can also just take the coin, I guess.
Yep.
Does anyone else have a wish list? I mean, mine is more along the lines of repairs and, if anything, it'd probably be odd, unusual items, not mundane.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have things that they... Yeah, or alchemical, but that would probably more involve the doctor, the good doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll just get some food for the road.
Okay.
Growing girl.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll all. That'd be useful for all of us.
I don't know why. I haven't made this joke since my son was quite little, and it's a joke that my parents used to make all the time too. We talk about did you have a hollow leg? I don't know why that. Well, that's common to other. My folks always say that to my dad. Would say that to me, and I would always say that to my boy when he was a kid. But I haven't said it to him in 20 years now. But
we used to say that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Kids are just wolfing down an enormous amount of food.
Growing up like
my son is Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Always thinks with his stomach.
That's... All right. So then, guys, getting pretty far back here, and I bet you it's in the Rollmaster stuff. I bet you. All right, so you get your food, and we'll assume that Dr. Gravek is going to pick up some alchemical supplies. He also wanted some formulae, I believe, from the what do you call it? From the town kind of wise witch or wise woman, to try and supplement his alchemical list.
This is the doctor?
This is the doctor, yeah.
Okay.
And
cool.
I have reached the thick first sessions, all the content from the first sessions of Paradar now, so I'm a year back. I'm getting close. Let's see here. It's always a bit of a pain when I don't properly label the media or the images I'm looking for, but it is also kind of a fun. I just passed by our adventure one shot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There he is. Boom. So what I'll maybe do is, if I can rename this, rename item, go. There we go. That'll be easier to find next time. Okay, so that is Sir Richard and his man-at-arms. It should only take you about... you're on foot, so it will take probably 2 days to get there. If there's nothing else you guys wish to do, you guys are able to ride out. And let's and by ride, I mean walk.
Yeah.
Why don't you each give us, let's see here, let's get some dice rolling. And as a reminder, we're using Marvel Superheroes style rules for luck spends now. You can choose to spend luck on a roll. You just tell us you roll it, and then you will lose a minimum of 1, but otherwise you'll spend up to making a success. So you do have to make the decision beforehand, but you don't have to decide how much you're spending. This is going to be a simple, so a DC 12 endurance check for today's travels. Would you each give us an endurance check, please?
Okay.
Oh, skills. That helps. Body. Oh.
Easy peasy. Oh, Selena.
Little girl. There we go.
There you go. Selena, this is a little challenging for you. So I think, why don't you give us a 1d10 roll, please? Ugh.
Apparently that's really
As
bad
a reminder,
and not-
10s do explode in this game. So go ahead and give us another. You set the up arrow key if you want to have it roll again. There you go. So it's a 13 stamina you're down right now, just from fatigue. It's been, I don't know why this was so much more challenging for you. And I think blue is your fatigue or your stamina bar.
Yep.
Why do you think it is that this is getting back into the hills? Let me find a proper...
I've been eating too much.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
Getting out of state.
Yep.
Out of shape.
Getting a stitch in your side from exercising too soon after eating.
Would you like the mage to carry you, girl?
I wouldn't want to break your back, arthritic old man. And
notwithstanding her exhaustion, you guys are able to carry on. There is, fortunately, an actual way station. It's a small, squat stone building with the markings of what did I call it? The Brethren of Creve? The Knights of the Forefather. You find that in there, and it's got a heavy wooden door. You guys will be sleeping indoors tonight once again. So you head in. There are some remember what the bunks were like in the ice mining town, the lake up near Lake Tancred? It's very much like that once again. Just very basic beds. You have to sort of roll out the cot in order to get something comfortable to sleep on. Sir Richard is, I think, having been a little overly chatty, and the night before has been mostly quiet. Not unfriendly, but just not volunteering or opening himself up for conversation. Whereas you might know that you are a notoriously chatty Kathy, but is there anything that you specifically wanted to bring up as conversation on the hike, or are you just kind of keeping your mind on the miles ahead of you?
Not other than wondering why the girl is holding us up.
Yeah, she's having a hard time, definitely. There's more than once where you're, going up a bit of a switchback path, and she's having to take breaks at halfway point up the hill before and I don't know what it is that's causing you to fall behind. Normally it's Dr. Gravek, not to slander someone who's not present, but he's the one who generally has a hard time with this stuff. Sideth, what about you?
He might be slow, but all you have to do is be quicker than the slowest, and you seem fine. So
there's a funny cartoon that was in, I think it's the 3rd edition of Call of Cthulhu, 3rd or 4th. I think it's 3rd, that had it was jokes about Call of Cthulhu that had sort of developed in the community. And one of the things was people don't realize that your most important stat is your movement stat, and it shows all these characters running way ahead, and there's one the big tough guy is the slowest one who's getting caught by a tentacle.
Yeah.
Sindaith, what about you as you're making your way along here?
I think the one thing that Sindaith is probably looking for, he's probably paying really close attention to see if he sees any cave entrances.
Okay.
That's probably the one thing that's really different than how he would normally be, if I had to say something. Yeah.
Sure. These paths are pretty. These are. I imagine you've traveled similar things before. Rough paths where they seem to only, they only exist on account of the infrequent travelers that make their way up and down them. Otherwise, the surrounding vegetation and terrain tries to almost swallow them up. That's even more so here, just because of the height of the trees. So it's difficult to see far beyond. Why don't you give us once again another awareness check, Sindaith?
Definitely gonna have to raise that skill more. I've got a little bit,
did use
but
it,
man, it ain't a lot.
Make sure there's a tick next to it because you did use it already. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
So what? Looking around, what you don't see any cave entrances, but there does appear to be a trio of crows or ravens that seem to be following. They're not the way they did from that village where there was the massacre and the werewolves, but the where they were within sight all the time. These ones seem to be a little higher up, but you can definitely see them. And it doesn't matter what part of day or what time of day you are, they seem to be roughly the same distance following behind you.
Sindaith is noticing that?
Yeah, you guys are maybe taking your break. Selena's catching her breath, trying to get herself ready just to finish off the rest of the travel trip for the day. This would be probably before you reach the waypoint. Werzium, you are taking a sip from your water skin or wine skin, and Sindaith, you're looking up, and you can see the three circling, probably held aloft in the by the mount, the winds, whipping through these foothills. And Werzium, you may look down, and you can see his eyes are trained not staring ahead, kind of taking a break, but really studying something. You look up, birds.
What do you make of it?
It's related to my dreams.
I exchange a look with Selena. Mage meanderings.
Yeah.
Like what? We have time. Entertain us.
If you were more... Oh, go ahead, Will.
No, I was just going to say, I think at this point, I think Sindaith would definitely probably tell them.
In Sir Richard's presence?
I don't know why not. I don't know. Let's see, what would be the easiest way?
Remember, Richard does seem to be quite friendly, but there are members of the Church of Creve that are opponents of non-humans. And
Right.
what you heard at one of the other, the Duke, his elder brother who went off, he was a member of the Knights of the Forefather, and he's one of the ones who went on crusade in Redania.
Yeah. I think I think Sindath would phrase it as, during my dream last night of ancient underground elven constructions, I heard the flap of wings.
Were you trying to hide this conversation from Sir Richard?
I think he would be. I think it would be sotto voce. I think he would be a little, quiet about it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that's the extent he's willing to say right now too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think then why don't you give us a
Subterfuge.
yeah. I'm trying.
Empathy.
What is it? It would be. Where is it? Lying elf.
I've got a +10 in that. Deceit would be under empathy.
Deceit, absolutely under empathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Go right ahead.
Let's try that.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh yeah. So you are fairly confident that the Sir Richard and his men did not hear what you said.
Okay.
They are on horseback, so maybe they're not right next to us, or who knows.
They're probably resting their horses during the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, it's the weather is reasonable.
Yep. Yeah. Today.
Nice. Is it mainly? I'm trying to remember what the landscape. Probably is it forest.
What you see before you?
Okay. Just like that.
Shift ping.
Yeah.
There you go.
I wasn't actually. I had things open. Yeah. I've had that the GM. I even I thought I was using something that threw the as when I was running a game that would throw the roll in front of them, this plus this plus this.
Yeah.
And I kept getting asked, and I'm like, it's right there, because I'd taken the trouble, and of course they didn't see it because there's all sorts of stuff open, It's right there. Why are you asking me? It's right there.
That's why I like playing with GMs. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you? What do you guys make of what Sindai said, the ravens and him dreaming about this? Because you guys have been bedeviled by ravens for the last at least week of travel. And Selena, you can think of those the old folk that you saw when you guys were camping, that encampment where they had the markings of wolves and ravens on all their stuff.
I think Selena, though, is just busy trying to recuperate. Looking at her shoes.
Try not to puke. Don't puke.
Yeah. So, haven't you had dreams before that we're aware of? I mean, we might not have had the details, but you're restless, majory, restless nights of dreams kind of thing. Am I misremembering?
Yeah, not. I mean, what Sindai, you really haven't. You've had at least nothing supernatural. You've definitely had. I imagine you've had dreams about your lost lover, the one claimed by that magical disaster. But it's not like all mages regularly dream portentous dreams. Only those playing.
I'm probably thinking of the doctor. The doctor had some stuff going on. I may be misremembering.
The doctor most definitely did, but that was less. Yeah. That was less dreams, more so than actual appearances of demons. Yeah.
I mean, if you believed him,
Yeah. I mean, he did show up shivering and terrified at your things to ask you if you could sleep on your floor.
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Yeah. So most definitely, Yeah, like this, the Sindai, just for you to contextualize your how you want to give your answer, this is unlike anything you've experienced before.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's I think that's the classic answer. This means something.
It means you got a lazy DM.
And I think it loses Wurzim at that point of like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mage nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. The rest of the trip is otherwise uneventful, unless there's anything else you guys wish to do. But you feel very, you're reminded once again of just how empty these lands are, because you don't see any sign, apart from the path snaking before you up and down these foothills. There's no other indication of human habitation out here. When you come across the rest stop or whatever, it almost seems as if it is, built out of the hill itself. One of the stony or rocky outcroppings that picks out, and it's only when you get closer you realize that, oh no, this is a natural structure that has been sort of sealed off and almost reclaimed by the environment. It's almost like a mini, or could serve perhaps as a mini fortress. But you get in and you guys bed down. Anything you guys wish to do this evening? Selena, you'll get your stamina back by tomorrow morning.
That's good.
Okay.
How many men does Sir Richard have with him again?
It's 3 men at arms.
I see. Maybe, I don't know if the night camp offers maybe an opportunity to chat with Sindaith without Sir Richard being right there.
Yeah, you guys could step outside, certainly.
Look at the vista, while we're eating dinner, out of our bowl, whatever.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if you want to have a pipe outside or something like that, or even just fresh air before bed.
Because he probably, Wurzim probably got the idea of, and he can appreciate protectiveness, and so with now more of a chance at privacy, he says, "So, Mage, you think?"
Well, why don't you give us
really...
a deceit check first?
Okay.
Wurzim.
Oh, it's gonna be horrible. We'll see.
Now that's when you need a friend.
Yeah.
So it is very obvious that you have asked Sindai to have a word outside. Come outside, okay. Mage. They don't seem to take any interest in it, though. So Sir Richard sees you heading out. They're just doing their, servicing of their weapons, or maintaining their gear, getting ready for the next day. Sindai, you go with Wurzim?
Yes.
And Selena, did you want to sneak around after, or you were not?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I always like to sneak around after.
Why don't you give us a stealth check, please?
Let's have a look.
Oh yeah. If you want to be hidden and not seen, you certainly can do that. So Wurzim, bringing Sindaith out, you sort of walk down a little bit of the small path, partially overgrown by ferns and whatnot. It seems that this path and this way station are not used terribly frequently. You step away and you feel very much in the blackness. As soon as you get a little ways away, you can hear the sound of the men talking inside the camp. You have seeming freedom to talk now, so what would you like to say?
So you think your dreams have any usefulness to us?
I don't know if use is the right word, but... It's not a premonition. But it's an omen. This dream of this cave I've had recurring, but last night I dreamed of coming face to face with something. It looked like an elf, but wrong, with black feathers for hair and blackened eyes and a blackened mouth. And he looks up, looking for the three ravens or crows or whatever. He kind of gestures.
You can't see them, but you can feel as if like they're watching.
The appearance of those in relation to my dream is too much to be coincidence.
I suspect we'll find them where we're headed for our task.
Yeah.
That they are probably a part of it in some way. I look forward to actually getting after what we're supposed to be doing in the first place. For the Duke.
I just hope that we're making the right choices.
What else would we do?
Yeah, Sindath just shakes his head, and that's all he really can relate.
So, Selena, you've overheard all of this. Would you want to say anything, or are you just going to sneak back in and...
No, I'm interested if there's anybody else around, so...
Okay. Why don't you give us an awareness check? See if you can detect the owlbear coming. I mean, there's no owlbear. Not at all. Okay. As far as you can tell, Sir Richard and his men are just inside the way station, and it's only you out here.
And I hear them chuckling about Wuzium's lack of lying ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
I charm.
All right. So then, if there's nothing else, is there anything else you guys wish to do tonight before? Nada?
I don't think so.
All right. So morning comes, Selena. You can restore your full stamina back up to 30.
Oh, okay.
And then good night's sleep is all you needed. Let's see what today brings. So once again, would you guys kindly give us a endurance check, please?
Oh, well, I'll try a bit of luck here.
Humboldt.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh!
Oh!
Tough going all around.
You know what, though? It was together. We did it together.
It must have been a really rough bit of road.
Yeah.
Yep. So why don't you each give us a 1d10 exclamation mark roll. We'll see how much stamina you've lost over
I'll
the
just
course.
let my luck point go.
Okay. It's only 6 for Sindaith. Only 3 for Warzium.
I learned something interesting from a computer programmer once a time. They said that exclamation point is often called a bang.
A bang. Okay.
I heard a programmer say, whenever you do that, they often call that a bang.
It's neat because I don't know why it's the case, but when I was cutting and pasting stuff from the Blackbird's PDF when we were setting up the game yesterday, capital T then H, like at the start of the or there or them or whatever else, it always converted over to a exclamation mark. I have to go in and physically change it back over. I don't know why that's the case. It's just a weird bit of formatting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made for interesting reading as I'm reading through, trying to pick it up. I'm like, okay, this exclamation mark E. Like, but I guess that's supposed to be the. All right, so everyone loses whatever their corresponding amount of stuff is. Sorry, did you say you spent luck on it, Selena?
Yeah, but I just let it go after spending one.
Actually, you don't get a chance to let it go. If you're choosing to spend, you have to spend luck to get to a success. So you don't lose any stamina, but it does cost you a total of 3 luck.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you roll it, then you have to spend it all.
Yeah, so it's sort of a risk reward. Like what it guarantees you is that you should be able to get a success with your roll, but and it's not going to be in if it's more than what you could. Like if you were still going to fail spending all your luck, you don't spend it. It's just you will spend enough to get yourself to a success.
Oh, okay.
It costs you 1 minimum, right?
1 minimum, yeah. If you're making a luck, if you're engaging in luck, it's always a risk of 1. Maximum of a success, whatever it costs to get to a success. And if you don't have enough luck to get to a success, you just spend the 1.
Ooh, so that could be quite punitive in a way. Yep.
Yeah, like if you what it is a way of guaranteeing success with it. So unless you really turf things, you should be able to get a success out of the thing. It's honestly, I mean, with the variety of different approaches we have for narrative metacurrency in the various games we play to, this is probably my least favorite. Not the one we're using now, but the way of spend before. It's just like why have that mechanic if it's going to be so? There's not a fun risk reward there. There's just I just lost stuff. It's just strict gambling.
Yeah.
So the. Yeah, and I mean, the impression I get from the other games we've played is that I never feel like you guys are overpowered. It doesn't overpower you. It just allows me to really go gloves off with challenges. Okay, then it is about 3 o'clock when you guys are finding. Sir Richard has been saying, not far now for the last 45 minutes. And what you guys find as you're approaching the Keep of the Forefather and the neck is very much leading up to its name. As you're getting closer, you're finding that there are 2 fairly large, maybe not quite mountains, but very they would give them a run for their money. They are sort of creating a bit of a funnel, like a valley that's going to be a very narrow way of getting through. And you get into a point where this path seems to be you have sweeping mountains on either side, and you get in towards where the keep is. And Sir Richard is, because he's on the horse, I think he's a little further ahead of you guys. And he says, what in the forefather? And he turns to you guys and says, wait here. He draws his sword and he rides ahead. And you can't see the keep yet, so you're not sure what he's doing, and his men do likewise. And they all ride forward. What are you guys doing?
And you had said that we can see the settlement? We can see
Can't yet. No, the trees. You have to make your way a little further up to see what the hell he's doing.
Would we expect to be how close would we expect to be to the settlement?
You should be there. I mean, he must have seen it and rode off. So you just have to make your way a little further on the path and take a look up and see what it is he...
Yeah, I mean, I'll do as he bids, but if there's a viewpoint, I will go and see if I can see.
Sure. So you can walk forward, and if you want to remain hidden, you could just like hug one of the sides of the path and look out. What you see is they seem to have cleared out some of the trees in the immediate, like 50 or 60 yards leading up to the keep. Mm-hmm. There is also effectively a very straight path leading up towards it. So something, from a tactical perspective, very defensible kind of thing, goes up to a wall that goes up about 15 feet, built of stone, and then there's a single tower on one side that offers a vantage. There is a gate in the wall. But the thing that is curious is that the entire tower and the gate are encased, or at least encircled, by huge roots of some kind. Worsium, you can give us a Witcher's training check if you like. And I think Sindaith, if you're seeing it, you could give us... training in monster lore?
No, but I do have my magic training.
You could try that as well. Yeah, at least you could rule out some stuff.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Sindaith, you look out and if it is a mage who's done that, or some kind of spellcaster, like a priest or a druid or something like that, that's some really powerful magic because this is not like small, it's not clinging ivy, it's like the roots of a massive, century-old tree that have somehow extended and wrapped around this thing. And you see that Richard and his men have rowed up, and they're calling out to the tower.
What do you think, Mage? Doesn't seem natural, does it?
No, it's definitely not that.
Sindaith, you can't...
This is powerful magic.
You didn't see it, but you look around once again, and you see your trio of friends almost, not like close, but, several hundred yards up, drifting around in the mountain breeze. It seems
only we had some sharpshooters among us looking around.
Nothing motivates characters to to appreciate the importance of ranged weapons like flying opponents or those that are hard to reach.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what? What you see is that Richard, unless you guys do anything else or wish to do anything else, Worsium, with that roll, I mean there are a couple of things that come to mind. Like there are, and all of them, I can't give you a specific name for it, but there are a lot of primeval creatures, things that they aren't like things that tumbled through the conjunction of the spheres, things that were native here but just are very old in these lands. Those are the kind of things that tend to tap into nature this way.
Can we see any movement from our vantage point? Besides,
what you can see is that there are. It seems as if there are members of of his order who are within here. The tower itself is about 3 stories tall, and you can see that there are individuals. They're able to actually get off of the top of the tower, and they're sort of shouting down to Richard. So there's a bit of back and forth between them. It seems as if they have been trapped in here for 2 days now. He gets his footmen off, and they, one of them has one or two of them have, hatchets for traveling and cutting firewood and such, and they're getting them out and are beginning to go to work on the roots that are immediately in front of the gate.
look at Sindaith. I wonder if would fire do more harm than good? Do you think to those to their efforts?
The roots are, I assume they're more, the way you're describing it, it's more green, more alive, right, Kevin?
Yeah,
It's
they
not
they look alive to you for sure.
I mean, maybe, but green wood does not always burn easily.
Yeah. Nor split easily, for that matter.
And this is true.
Thoughts, young one?
I'm going to try and get closer and have a look.
Yeah, it doesn't seem necessary for us to remain quite this far.
Go.
Yes. I mean, I would think at this point, especially given since the tower is still manned, if no one could be raised in the tower, there's a potential of complete disaster. But since at least the guards are there, even if they are trapped, I would think that moving ahead is fine. I think Werzium goes at least close enough to be able to shout.
So you, the three of you, step out and begin making your way up the path. So I'm trying to find stats for something here. Bear with me. Where did I leave the stats for that wyvern? I mean, it's not a wyvern. Where? Okay. Okay, that's what I was looking for. You're making your way up, and Werzium, Sindaith, and Selena, you almost can't believe your eyes, because as one of the, as one of the knights begins setting to work with his hatchet, one of the larger roots, you can hear the creaking of the wood. It suddenly moves at first very slowly, and then whip cracks towards the one man-at-arms. And let me see here. How much armor would he have? Let's see. It is... There we go. He'd have probably Brigandine, so stopping power 12. Whap! He's smashed in the chest by this, and staggers back and hits the ground. Guys, why don't we each click on our tokens, and we'll roll initiative.
Not initiative. There it is. Okay.
And let me get...
Me. So...
Whoa. That was a bad roll.
You're just not yourself, young one.
Yeah, you're
tired,
normally quick.
Sluggish.
Okay, let's see here. Do I have a picture of a tree? Yep, here we go. There we go. Because it includes the same things, I do have a picture of Google Earth map of the streets of Calgary. That sounds appropriate. Okay. Oh, I can use this. Arr. Okay.
Oh.
And that is all right. So let me strike with this once again. Let's see. I think we got more exciting Uzak than this. Is this it? There we go. This one's going out for Dave. A little death and axes. Okay, so then, first up will be this thing. So it's going to try and crunch down on that guy once again. He's going to try and...
Dodge.
Yeah. Wham! Slams down on him. It does not look like he will be getting up again.
Oh, man.
Then, how many attacks does this thing have?
What?
And then it lashes out at Sir Richard. Would one of you give us a 1d10 exploding check, please? See if Sir Richard can get out of the way. Hasn't had a chance to get his... Oh, he did draw his sword as he approached, so he might be able to parry this. 6 plus... base 18. Okay, he tries to get his sword up, but does not. Poof! He is hit. And he doesn't fall, actually, though. He staggers back. He's not knocked down by this thing, but again, it hits like a giant tree trunk. Werzium, you're up next. I think you guys are about 50 meters away from this, or 50 yards, because you guys are just walking up towards the approach.
Let's see here. Trying to bring to mind.
How do we play this game?
Seriously.
Welcome to my world. Every morning. How does this game work again?
I bet. I can only imagine. All right. Let's see. I actually did pretty well with my instant page selection. I am going to... I'll draw my Witcher sword.
Okay.
I mean, gosh.
Oh, which one?
I guess the Witcher,
The silver one or the steel one? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. Let's see. My understanding, my thinking on silver is that it has to do more with magical creatures. Seems pretty magical. Do I have any inclination? Do I have a leaning towards this is?
Why don't you give us another
Professional?
Witcher training check,
Witcher?
please.
Yes.
Because now that you've seen this thing moving.
Ooh, is this one of those? Should I? I'm debating on luck.
Oh, okay.
I might, I could obviously use it coming up too, but this is kind of a. Well, why not? I'll put a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Living large. You don't spend any luck. That was a success.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Nice. Oh, one though.
No,
right?
it's
Cost me
one. Yeah, one use. Yeah. Okay, so I mean this, and there are a handful of things that this.
Oh, so let me correct one thing then, because I forgot that we were. I added 3 incorrectly then, so it really ought to be a 19.
Oh, so the 1 is what you would need. Yeah, 20 is what you needed to succeed.
Okay.
So we're all good.
All good.
So what you know is that there are a number of these ancient things that this could be. 2 things that will be definitely of value here. For 1, moon dust bombs, and 2, fire.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise, silver this is likely to be more something that is you're able to put more muscle behind. Is going to be more effective.
Okay, so not silver is not thinking
not silver. No, silver it does not because it doesn't hold an edge terribly well. It's really only effective against things that are where silver is anathema to them. And in this case, you're just going to blunt the shit out of that sword on you know. This. So, fire, moon dust bombs. You have a bunch of moon dust bombs, right? Didn't you? I thought, remember a month ago you were telling me how you were stacking them up like Jenga blocks.
We are mule packs for those things.
Yep.
We are.
Nice. Okay, so that's you still have. So you haven't moved yet, but you've drawn your weapon.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'm going to spend for a second action.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer. It's just a matter of what I do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Either draw my other weapon or run. Because I just assumed.
So rules is written. You can spend 1 point of stamina to make an extra attack, but I'm fine having it be an extra action. That I think is a reasonable interpretation of the rules.
Oh, okay. So three points of stamina, right, for an extra. Page
let me make sure.
151.
Yeah,
extra
let
action.
me make sure I'm not reading.
151 sidebar.
I'm reading my first printing. Copy. Let's put that down and get the second.
In the first printing, it says 13.
Yeah.
There we go. Second printing. There we go. Let's play the game by the rules as they are now. Okay. And let me see here.
151 is where I was.
151. Okay, thank you. Yes, 3 stamina for an extra action. There we go. Sorry, fucking first printing. This is one of the reasons why I say, like, make sure you get the second printing of this game because there are some substantial changes to the combat system. All right, so then, yes, absolutely. So 3 stamina. What do you want to do?
I'm going to draw my other weapon.
Okay, so both weapons are out.
Be fully armed before I go leaping in there.
It's a reasonable precaution. Sindaith, what are you doing?
Not crazy.
I guess I need to move because I've got to get closer to this thing. So yeah. So
if I could too, I was going to exclaim, ready your torch, mage. Because of my
you were
my
going to
profession.
exclaim. That's great. That's right. What's it? Ready your torch, mage.
Yeah, ready your torch, mage. For
excellent.
his,
Best high school.
his...
What do you call it? Shakespeare production.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Sindaith, you're up next. What are you doing?
So I'm moving. Let's see. My run would be 21.
Okay.
And then I would take another action.
Yep.
To run a 21 again. Is that doable?
Yep, that works for me.
Okay. And the second action is what? 3 stamina?
Yes.
I thought that was right. I couldn't remember.
3 stamina. I'm just double checking here. Let's see here. Oh, if you're running, I don't know if you can take an extra action when you're doing a full round action.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think because that's...
So I could just run and then...
Yeah, so that'd be running. Okay, so you're racing up. You're 21 meters up. Selena, what are you doing?
I will... I will get up. I will just get up close to the combat, but there's not much else I'm going to do. I'm going to be trying to distract it a bit. I'll pick up a rock while I'm at it.
Sure, yeah,
as I run forward.
So maybe spend 3 stamina picking up the rock, and then...
Yep.
Well, that'd be an extra action, though. So the thing is, you can't run. What you'd be able to do...
No, I'll just move up then.
Okay. So what's your speed?
10.
Oh, wow, so you're 30. So Sindaith, this girl is shorter than you, goes racing past you. You're only 20 meters away right now. Then it is top of the round. This sucker. All right, so once again, this is going to try and hit Sir Richard. 10. Who? Will, I think you rolled for us last time. Give us another D10 exclamation mark.
Exploding.
Check, please. Although actually saying D10 bang, it does sound like a lot of fun.
That's the other part of it. Doing the bang is just fun to say.
Definitely. I am a simple creature, and I enjoy my simple amusements. All right, so that is 8 plus his.
I feel like there's a band name in there somewhere, but I haven't found it yet.
Exclamation bang. It was the name of my Iggy Pop cover band when I was in high school.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then it is, so that's not quite good enough. Once again, he's slammed by this thing. Ooh. And this time he does fail. He's sent flying kind of ass over tea kettle and hits the ground. One of his other, then the limb lashes out, tags another of his henchmen, and then Schwarzium, would you give us a 1d10 exclamation mark check? Let's see how the 8 once again. So unfortunately, still not good enough to parry. Oh, that's not bad at all. Barely gets through the armor, and he remains standing. So then it is Wurzium, still 2 standing. It doesn't seem like the first one who was hit with the root is going to be getting up again. Sir Richard looks pretty banged up. Wurzium, what are you doing? You got your 2 swords out. You got 50 meters yards between you and these roots that seem to be coming out of the ground and bashing.
And I presume that like our run, that's in meters, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So he's 21. So he is flying as fast as his feet can take him. He's on his way.
Okay, so you're racing up. You're now neck and neck with Sindaith. Sindaith, what are you doing?
Can I pay for? I can't. There's no.
I think with the full round actions you can. It doesn't expressly say it. Maybe it's in the errata. Hold on. Let's see. It did print the errata.
Yeah.
This is page 150.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because otherwise, what would be the difference? What's the difference between a whole turn and a turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't say in the errata. Just the errata shows the changes between first printing, second printing.
You're right. It makes logical sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can't. Rounds are about 3 seconds. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I think that. I think that makes sense. That you can't do full round plus take the extra action. Otherwise, you could run and then to also take an extra attack, and that would effectively make the charge maneuver.
In one turn, you can move a number of meters equal to your run.
Yeah, equal to your speed and perform one action. On page 1.
I was just reading on the statistic.
On which?
On page 47 on the statistic, like defining what the stat is.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it reads.
Yeah, and if you look on page 151, it says, in one round, you have enough time to move a distance equal to your speed in meters and perform one action.
And perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Sindaith, what are you doing? You have 29 meters between yourself and these things.
Yeah. He's going to get within range. So that would be...
You can move, I think, 7 meters per round, right? That's your speed?
No, my actual speed... Where is it? Yes, 7. Yes, you're
Is it 7?
correct.
Okay, so then, yeah, you could get within 22 meters with just a speed and still take an action if you like. Or you
Yeah,
need
it's
to be
not gonna
closer?
close enough. So I'm going to have to move closer.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to move. I think if I move just 14 meters will get me close enough.
Okay. So that's effectively well, it's two ways you could do that. You could, I think, if you took an action, there isn't expressly an action to just move your movement, but if you're willing to spend 3 stamina, you could take an extra action and I'd say move your speed once again. Kind of hustle.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you hustle up, and then you can take an action as well.
Now I will.
Nice. Okay, so go ahead and roll your spell casting.
Crap damage.
That'll be. But if it's vulnerable, though, it'll take more. Whoa! Big spellcasting roll. All right. Let's see here. I don't think I was expecting this. Oh, which is borne out in my fumble. Oh! My goodness.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely hit. Go ahead. So it was 9 points of damage.
And then
If the
roll
mage has this, Selena,
fire.
we can go off and have breakfast. If
Yeah, let's see here.
That looks distinctly more effective than using a stiletto on a tree.
yeah, the stiletto on the giant tree trunk is it is a little bit
Yeah, I'm not seeing that working. I'm going to be the one pulling people from from the field.
That's reasonable. It looks like that task is necessary. It appears so.
Okay, well, I'm just checking
Yeah.
what one thing does.
Look for an eye, Selena, for you to throw that stiletto. Look for an eye.
That has been her strategy thus far.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ooh, double damage. So if it's susceptible, that's what happens. And a -2 to resistance rolls. And double the duration. Woof. So
Do you
this
want me to
has...
check if it catches on fire too?
Yeah, please do. Nice.
Wow.
So yeah, you hammer one of the things, and it actually does 18 points of damage.
Nice.
And that one limb just goes blazing up. I believe that's it for your round. Now, guys, we're in the middle of a fight, but we are at the mid-session, and I've drank I drank so much coffee this morning. I really do need to take a mid-session break at this point. So we will be back. We'll take our mid-session break, and then we'll be back momentarily, and we'll carry on with the fight, guys. Sorry about that.
Sounds good.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Nah.
So I believe the saying is my back teeth were floating.
You are correct. It's the same.
All right. So then, okay. Sindaitha, you finished your turn.
Yeah, that was my second action. So
Okay.
yeah.
So then, let me see. Burning does as a refresher. DM screen's pretty good for this. Fire. 5 points of damage to every location. Armor soaks the damage, but fire does. For you, it'd be 10 because it's vulnerable or susceptible to it. Wow. Okay, good stuff.
Doubled.
Yeah, and the limb is. Yeah, probably like one or two more rounds of burning, and that's going to be gone. So then, Selena, what are you doing?
So how is Richard looking? Is he out or is he?
He is down on the ground. Yeah, he seems to be perhaps he's still moving, but he doesn't seem to be getting up.
Okay, so I'll run over to him. Or am I close enough just to move?
You
10
were
meters?
30. You could run over and be at him and be ready to move him next turn.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so you run over. Then it is this thing's turn. What I'd like is first for me to check one thing. Oh, actually, I can look it up while you guys are doing this. Why don't you each give us a 1d10 exploding dice, please? 1d10, bang!
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Whew. So, what happens is first there's that limb is still scorched and burning. Now there is a writhing, burning tendril. Which one did you target? The one that had hit Sir Richard, or the one that had hit the other guy?
I would probably say the one that hit Richard to keep it from, destroying him completely.
Okay. So then, Selena, we have a flaming root that is going to lash out towards you. Let's see. All right. So that was, if you wish to defend.
I guess I'll try and dodge it.
Yeah, so dodge is going to be a 20 you're looking for.
Okay. Well, I'll use some. Yeah, I'll use luck for that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's only one luck. So yeah, this thing comes down. Then you dive out of the way. Embers and whatnot are spray out from when it hits the ground. Hammers the other guy, the other footman. Where's he? Would you give us a D1 or D10? Bang, please. Oh man! But seeing the strategy adopted by their young traveling companion, instead of blocking it, he ducks out of the way, and once again, this limb sweeps over him. Then, Sindythe, would you give us an awareness check? This is only going to be a 12.
I'm burning up the awareness today.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay, you see it, and what the fuck? One of the horses that the guys had hopped off of to go and try and chop the thing, two things. Its eyes seem to be like as if its pupil has expanded out to fill its whole eye, perfectly black. And it turns and is charging towards you, its head going down as if it's going to slam into you.
Oh, hell.
Well, that's a bit odd.
Most definitely. So it charges in, and then... where's my thing here? Let's see if I actually hit you first. Okay, horse. I fumbled. Fumbled twice. All right, so you're going to have to try real hard if you want to defend against this, but it's like a 3 to defend.
That'd be like a dodge, I think.
Okay.
Let me see. Where's my character sheet? Come on now. There we go. Yeah, dodge.
Okay.
Because that's actually put some points in that finally.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, easy peasy. So you move out of the way, and you can see this thing is starting to move around as if it's going to come back and try and get you. Let's see here. Wurzium, you're too far back, so it's going to be one of... Selena, would you give us an awareness check as well? DC 12.
Yeah. Okay, that didn't do anything. Again.
Oh, easy. Same thing too. You see this thing turn, and it's chomping at the bridle so bad, like foam is coming out. Its eyes are huge, and it jerks to the side as if controlled by something else. Races towards you, likewise trying to just stomp on top of you. This one is a 15, so 15 to try and dodge this. I think you need to spend 1 stamina for a second defense action this turn. Easy. So again, you also roll out of the way of this charging horse. The final one is going to go after a... exploding. 17. Fuck me. 24. Would you give us... Where's he? Once again, a 1d10 bang. So that other footman, footman... dove out of the way. Maybe this is the one who's keeping the distance because still are 2 left. And he is just slammed from his side by this horse. Fortunately, it doesn't do as much damage as the... what do you call it? Yeah, it just sort of jostles him to the side. Let's see if he's still standing. That's a fumble once again, my God. So he does... he's battered by this horse more by the shoulder than its full force, and he kind of pinwheels and hits the ground. What the hell's going on with these horses? Wurzium, your turn. You have more information right now. You can feel free to make another Witcher training check if you like. Whoo! There is something. Yeah, that's right. Yep. But you can see what's happening here, and the combination of natural forces like the roots and whatnot attacking people, the animals suddenly behaving strangely, like this all comes together to form a view, and like it's really not good. There is a creature known as a Leshen. Leshen rule over the primeval forests of the continent. Their magic allows them to command the plants and animals of their domain to do their bidding. Because of this, fighting a Leshen is like fighting the forest itself. From the very moment you enter the forest, you're in danger. Reaching the monster itself means surviving several animal attacks, including ravens and crows, and wolves. After expending its resources at the heart of the forest, you'll find the monster itself. In combat, they're slow, but their claws are deadly. They are a tricky foe, capable of turning to smoke to elude you and entangling you with roots. The combination of moondust bombs and fire are needed to gain an advantage in this fight. The older the Leshen is, the more likely it is to have several totems hidden around its forest. Each totem makes the Leshen more powerful, and having even one totem allows him to restore its health quickly should it escape you. Ancient Leshen can have as many as 5 tokens. Additionally, having a token allows the Leshen to link itself to a human in a community nearby its forest. As long as the link is not severed by distance, the Leshen can return to life if slain.
Well, that's just all colors are wrong.
Oh, you're muted, Sean. Sorry.
You were saying token, like Token?
Yes. No, totems.
Totems. Got it. And so would it be, that would be like a, some kind of edifice, would it be?
A totem would be like kind of like a very small, but something akin to like a much thicker version of a tiki torch.
Okay.
I mean, they wouldn't be like present here. They'd be spread throughout a forest, though.
Do I have any idea of proximity that a Leshen has to be involved like this? Would I know that?
I think what you know
Like
is what I've told you.
Okay. Because I was wondering if it could be like a mile away, or does it have to be on site?
No, it would have to be half sight, likely. Although it can see through some can take advantage of its allies, and you guys have been surrounded by, varieties of wolves and raven.
Gotcha. And so I've got I see 2 horses going crazy.
First off, and that's the thing. It can control animals, and you've got 2 horses that seem to be going nuts trying to take people out. There's a burning tree root. There's another one, and then there's the whole tower that's been sealed off seemingly by these roots growing up around it. And that's when it dawns on you, like, oh god, like it's effectively, this is a demigod of the forest that's pissed off at you guys.
Right. Sounds bad.
Captain understatement.
There's no point in being dramatic. Wasting time. Nonsense. I'm debating again on whether to use, because I would like to throw up my shield, but so I'm debating on.
Your ward is getting smashed by a burning tree tentacle. You're like, no, precaution first, safety.
There's protocols.
The Witcher equivalent of workplace safety. We don't want to violate WHMIS.
Everybody wears a helmet on the site, okay?
Exactly.
Let's see. Not to mention, I don't think he can get there.
What's his move or speed?
His run would be 21, and I have him as 29 meters, so he can't even get there with a run.
Yep.
I mean, he'll run. I guess he'll just run.
Okay. So you race up that hill. You're like Kate Bush.
That's the last time I stay behind when someone tells me to stay behind. That was nonsense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sindaith, what are you doing?
I suppose I'm still attacking the tree.
Okay.
Let's see. Spells.
You want to do that same route that you did before, or the other route?
I think I need to hit the other one.
Okay.
Try and spread the love.
Okay. Go ahead and give us a spellcasting roll. It's a little better with damage. Actually, it's dead average, I believe, with damage.
Nice.
Holy smokes.
Oh, that's a goodie.
Yeah, so you once again, your staff, you point it towards the other one, and a jet of flame comes out and consumes that one. Give us a percentile roll. Let's see if it's on fire.
Yes.
Yep, that's good enough. Yep. So that one, likewise, is ablaze. You can hear a creaking and moaning from somewhere off in the trees to the right.
Oh no.
Frustration, pain, or a promise of revenge? Who knows? Who speaks tree? Quick. No. So you got your stamina spend from that. Do you want to spend 3 stamina to take another action?
I'm starting to run low. Well, yeah, I can do that. Let's go ahead and do it again.
Okay.
8. It's 5. And...
Here we go.
Off the wrong damn page, stupid. Bam.
Even better. And go ahead and give us a spell casting. Is this against the second one you've attacked? Same one, or are you attacking once again the one that's going to...
I think this would be against the second one again.
Okay.
I'm just trying to wear this dang thing down.
Nice, okay. So it can't get out of the way. That's 26 damage. You actually char through it, and it drops off, and it hits the ground like and it's no longer writhing or moving. It's just a strangely shaped root. Whack, hits the ground. Then, Selena.
I guess I will try and drag Sir Richard away from the tree area.
Why don't you give us an athletics check, and we'll just use this to judge how far you can get him. It's not whether you can or not. Just how far you get away.
Yeah, this is always going to be the drawback, this bit.
He's also fully wearing metal armor as well.
Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, actually, basic roll.
Yeah, okay. So you're scrambling back. You drag him back. What your full movement is 10 meters, right?
Yep.
Yep, so that's how far you get him back.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it seems to be well out of reach of these things. Then it is... Oh, you could spend 3 to take another action if you like.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'll pull out my stiletto at that point.
Okay. So 3 stamina to do that. Then it is the thing's turn. The last, with the extra round of fire burning here, that other one that was going after Selena, it likewise just sort of cracks, breaks off, and then immediately stops moving. You hear once again a moan from somewhere off in the bushes, and then there is a crazy sound like dozens of birds. And from the right, there's a pack of about maybe between 24 and 36 raven that come bursting out of the thick forests over there. And the horses seem to slow and no longer be attacking you. Oh, snow removal guys are here today. Can you hear the...
I can't really hear it.
Oh, no? Okay, good. I guess we got snow last night.
No, too bad.
Best, for a Canadian, best fucking money I've spent. Someone else to do the snow removal.
Oh, yeah.
The very best. Let me rephrase that. For aging Canadians. If your low back or your knees hurt at different points in the day with no corresponding injury, very money well spent. They do have these gas-powered leaf blowers, though, they use to get rid of the snow, so it can be quite noisy if you hear an engine in the background. That's what that is. So, with this thing down, guys, what do you do next? Or at least these tree trunks down.
Wurzium first gives a few head shakes that he missed the whole thing.
Yeah. So you slow to a trot as you're racing up towards everything and
And a big sigh. There's a big audible Witcher sigh.
Yep.
And he'll look around for a foe. I mean, it seems like things have quieted, but he's going to take a moment to make sure.
Knowing what these things are, the Leshen can also transform into packs of birds. They can transform into smoke or packs of birds. So that seems to be, if you had any question as to what's out there, and it is flowing. The birds are flying northward into the lands that you will be traveling into.
Okay.
So
he'll put away his weapons. I assume we're out of combat, right?
Seems like, yeah. So it does seem that the one the one footman, he is no longer, he's no longer for this world. But Sir Richard, he's just suffered a busted arm.
Yeah.
But he is otherwise okay. You want to try and treat him there, Sindaith?
Yeah, I was actually going to cast magic healing on him.
Yeah. Okay, so then that would be, let's see here. Healing critical injuries. Doctor, a mage must use the healing spell a number of times to heal a critical wound. So let's see here. I think it's a complex injury. Why don't you give us... Hold on, what is it here? Trying to see if there's a consequence for failure here.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't think there is. It's just one kind of odd or curious thing about this is that like you have to cast it 6 times in order to heal it.
But enough stamina.
Sorry?
When does stamina regenerate? How does that work?
That's what I was just actually looking at. I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, as well. I don't remember offhand, but let's take a look here. Vehicle combat. Suddenly, a carriage comes running down the road.
Well, based off what the horses did, I wouldn't be terribly surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think stamina was described at the beginning of the book. For those listening at home, it's been a little over a month since we played last, so apologies that we have to refresh our memories on the gameplay.
Whenever you take a recover action, which restores as much stamina as your recovery stat.
Oh, there we go. So you just take a minute or so to catch your breath. You'll get all your stamina back. Okay, excellent. So then you'd have access to 45. Is that enough to cast it 6 times?
Yeah. That I would not have a problem with it then.
Okay. Okay, after it's been healed, it must still heal over time. So you're treating this. The only thing I'm confused with is, like, it's what it says for. I'm looking at page 173. Okay. Mage must use a healing spell a number of times to heal a critical wound. Doesn't say it needs to be. Like, you can't take a break. Mage's healing spell does not regenerate health points, and their spellcasting roll must beat the DC listed for the severity of critical wound to count towards the number of uses. So that's fair as well, but there's not a consequence of failing. And it doesn't say that it needs to be done like back to back to back. So I don't understand why you would bother rolling.
Regenerate their health points over time. And then healing critical.
Yeah, it costs you 5 stamina per, so it'd be 30.
Specified by the healing spell table.
It'd be 30 stamina to do that. The healing spell table is on page 170.
Right. That's where you came. Well, there's a DC though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's a DC for you to cast it, but the thing is, there's not a consequence of failure. And you don't need to cast it back to back. So I'm not sure why. Like, what's the consequence for it? Why? Apart from running out of stamina, but because it doesn't say that you need to cast it back to back. That as long as you've got a minute or two, you can.
I guess. Well, I guess it would be though an overall time thing. Because if you failed, you would still burn the stamina, so you got to take time to.
Right, but then you could take a breath, right?
Yeah, but I was just thinking, like, just in the big scheme of time.
Yeah. So if you were pressed for, I suppose if you were pressed for time, you would need to spend 6 rounds potentially, or if you're burning stamina, to cast more. Like, that would really only come in if you are at a crunch for time.
Right. That's what I was thinking. There's the time.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't think we're missing anything here.
I'm gonna go check the spells real quick and make sure I'm not.
Yeah, and the spell description is
anything.
pretty short for it. It just says, to refer to that section for criticals. Okay, well, so then, yeah, you're able to, with some focus and attention, you're able to treat the wound, and his arm is gonna be functioning. It'll take time for it to properly set.
Right.
He nods and thanks you for what you've done. And then with that, you guys get to work hacking away at the door to get through the gate, and then gain access to the door to gain access to the to the tower itself. With the door open, you meet several other members of Sir Richard's order in the keep, including some junior members and squires. Let me see if I can find the thing here. And what you learn is that, this has gone on for 2 days now.
Mm-hmm.
This happened, first they were wolves that came running around the fortress, driving them in, inside, so none could go. The stables were even, closed off, and they seemed to come from both sides. And that's when the roots came up, and they could not find a way. They were trying to figure out a way of lowering someone down, but because of the presence of the wolves, which seemed to have run off, they were fearful of being able to go down one at a time. The wolves seem to run off at your approach, so they're out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. We seem to have encountered a lesson which would explain what's happened here. It can control creatures of the forest, including even trees.
A lesson? What, like a forest spirit? This is one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why would it attack now? We've never had
that
any issues
I don't know. I don't know, but this is not the first strange thing we encountered. The lesson, as you may have noted at the end here, as the trees ceased to act, a flock of ravens flew off, which was likely to be the lesson escaping the field of battle. And we have been encountering ravens all the way along our trek, including ravens following us the last week.
So one of the older knights steps in and says, so it's you they're following then?
I suppose. I mean, they could be following. I'm not sure everyone they're following, but they're following us.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, perhaps it has to do with our task. Is a possibility, but we won't. Perhaps we'll know more when we arrive at the destination of our job. But that's my only. Either that. Well, I don't know why they'd be following us. If it's only us. Otherwise, there's something more afoot going on because, for example, and I'm looking for the name of this town in my notes, but we passed a town.
Midway? Or the one before that?
The one before that.
Oh, okay.
The one that died.
I believe I gave a name to it, but I don't remember what it was.
I think you did too. That's why I'm. Lanalore, I think.
What was it?
Lanalore, I believe.
Lanalore, okay.
I could be wrong. I have wrecked town of Lanalore.
Okay. It's the laziest fucking name, my goodness. Just throwing out a bunch of noises.
I think it is Lanelore. Yeah, bodies in
Okay.
town square in shape of elven language. Yeah, Lanelore.
Okay.
We pass the town of, and he looks at his companions for a moment and goes, Lanelore, I believe it was, where the whole town was killed, and there were birds everywhere. So it seems to, it'd be surprising if it's about us, but there's something going on in this land, in this area, and those birds just flew off to the north, which is where we're headed. So
They look at one
they
another.
may be trying to stop us. I'm not certain exactly what's going on, but it seems to be a lesson.
So there are there is one town that you will pass between to the north. The capital is Lomazi, and that is where the Duchy of Rava's holding is, and Rava Keep can be found. But before you reach there, you'll be passing through the town of Kira. It's less than a day's journey from here to Kurau, but it is through, and they sort of gesture out the window at the trees. More of this. If your Leshen is out there, will it hunt you?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's hunted us to this point. In fact, even this wasn't hunting us. It was an attack on this keep. Not directed against our party, as it were.
One of the younger knights says, it attacks, it's an enemy of Kriv. Another one kind of nods like, it's unholy. The older knight puts his hand up and gestures and says, what? Will it come back? Will it return?
I don't know, but I do think our actions are probably most helpful in just continuing what we were doing, which is to head where we're going. For after all, the birds did head north, so there's nothing to suggest that there's something more useful we could do than we're already doing. I believe we'll be heading into the belly of the beast, is my guess.
So one of the things you know as well is that if there are totems out there, they may have links to human communities, to members of the human community. And if they are infected by the Leshen, that means even killing the Leshen's physical form will allow it to regrow.
Oh, good lord.
Would I know... would I have any idea what to search for on this totem? On the totem?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, you would know it if you saw it.
So there might be one around here. Is that reasonable for him to think?
If it's an older Leshen, then it could have between 1 and 5 totems, but they could be spread out all over all over the forest.
These Leshen have objects frequently known as totems that it directs its magic through and strengthens it and prevents it from being permanently dispatched. Is that right?
Yep. One thing you also know is that because of, any of the creatures that generally have seemingly magical powers, like things that seem to be obvious bending of the natural laws, the way magic does, the way that you work chaos to do that. Things like transforming into fog, transforming into ravens, moving limbs of other living things. Those things can be effectively nullified with what's called a dimetrium bomb. Those are a type of alchemical bomb that Witchers typically use.
Dimetrium bomb.
Yeah. Dimetrium bomb is also, if you're hunting mages, super fucking useful there. Oh, you like magic, do you? Poof.
anti-magic bomb.
Dimetrium is what you use to imprison mages as well too. Renegade mages can be given Dimetrium cuffs that rob them of their ability to work magic.
Oh, that sounds familiar now. I think I might have been dropping that in my conversation periodically with the mage. Now that I'm hearing that,
Okay, so Dimeritrium. No, Dimeritium, I think is how it's pronounced. Dimetrium. I'll put it in. It's on page 167 of the core book. Dimeridium. Yeah, the Nilfgaardian mage hunters use cuffs, chains, and weapons made out of a blue alloy of dimeridium and iron. It's the best defense against mages. Mm-hmm. Assuming you can get it on them. It occurs rarely in the north, mainly in Kovir and Povis. So fortunately... Oh, wait a minute. That's right around where you guys are.
Yeah.
Huh. That's a strange coincidence, don't you think?
You're saying that that's where it could be found?
Yeah. There's mines of demiridium all across the north. It's extremely, because it's such a rare element, it is extremely valuable. It's one of the reasons why Kovir and Povis are so rich now.
Need some bags of that.
Would it make sense, Kevin, for me to suggest a search party for a totem nearby? Is that something in my...
Well, you know that facing these things, the moondust bombs and fire are pretty effective, but how effective was anyone else against these things? If you send out a bunch of knights into the forest and a Leshen is out there, what do you think the likely outcome is going to be?
Okay. I mean, the hope was that the Leshen had departed momentarily, and so, taking 20 minutes to ensure there's not a totem in the immediate vicinity made sense, but maybe not.
It's, again, like the totems, they're not really like... Tiki torches is maybe a bad way to describe it, because it's not like they can just pick it up and plunk it down. These are things that are like, there's a fundamental magical connection that comes from them that augments it's almost like marking their territory, literally. It increases their magical connection to the area, and it augments their power and can link them to a human in a community. Which begs the question, if there is a totem out there too, that's where it's nearest to this.
Could it be destroyed?
In here.
Yeah. Can they be destroyed, do I know?
Totems? Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
I mean, maybe just... And do I have any idea on the range of a totem?
You do not.
I don't know if it makes any sense for us to search for it. Just us, then. I mean, it could be just us. I mean, I think it behooves Werzium to at least look where the birds came from. He'll go over just on a lark.
Okay.
And he'll tell everyone what he's doing. I'm going to go over and see if I see one of these articles. And was it very far away?
Sorry?
Well, the totems. A totem of... was it very far away that the birds broke
totems,
from?
You're talking about like a mile of distance for them to be effective. So like you'd be searching anywhere within a mile. If there is a totem out there and it is augmenting this Leshen's power, it could be within a mile of where this fight occurred.
And how far away was it that the birds broke from?
That's within like several, within like 50 or 60 meters of the edge. That's where they seem to burst out of. Remember that this place at the neck, it gets quite narrow in there, so it was off on one side where a bunch of the trees still remained that hadn't been cleared out, up, and then over the wall and to the north. That's where it went.
So we could go and have a look where that came from.
Yeah,
But this is puzzling. If we've been followed, this means that this creature has known about us for days and from a huge distance away, and shown a great interest in us all that time, which is a bit odd.
Definitely. Yeah, because you guys have been traveling it since the first encounter with the old folk. You guys had that camp, and Selena went and explored and found those the old folk encampment, or elder folk encampment. It's been about 4 days of travel, so that's probably close to like 80 miles, maybe less than that because of the terrain, but like certainly more than 40 miles, which means that and that's way farther than what you would expect a Lushan's ability to extend would be, unless it's really, 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 really old and really, 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 really powerful, or if it has allies.
Yeah, and I guess it might suggest that that it could be a connection with a human, and this human found out about our involvement in this town, lifting the curse of this town that maybe the Lushan cares about. So that'd be one explanation.
Yeah, are you sharing this information with Sindaith? Like, are you talking through this stuff out loud?
I think I'd be chatting about it. I mean, because I also, as Selena caught the idea too, that I think it's worth the low-hanging fruit of at least checking where the birds broke from.
Yeah.
Just to see if there's anything over there 60 meters away.
So, Sindaith, you're hearing Werzium talk about this, about the humans and the connection with the humans and blah, blah, blah. And you can't think how narrowly he's thinking in scope of what race may associate with these things. Remember, we talked in our last session a bit about how there was, prior to the conjunction of the spheres, there were different cultures amongst the elves. It's not just humans who would have connections with ancient spirits of the forest or the hills or any other place. And the Lushan are about one. If he's talking about this, the Lushan could be thought of as agents of the old gods, or perhaps, small gods themselves. Not for nothing, if you got something that has that much control over animals and the surroundings and whatnot, if you have a symbiotic relationship with that, it can really make your life a lot easier.
Trying to think. Well, okay. Well, let's stop here for a second. So Sindaith starts to look around for those crows or ravens that had been following us.
Sure.
Does he see those?
Yeah, if you go you have to sort of make your way around the tower a little bit to get to the vantage, but you can see those three are still out there.
I think Werzium's going to want to head over. If Selena wants to come, she'd talk to him. She'd voiced about it as well.
Sure. So it's probably close to around 5 o'clock. You got about another day and a half, like another hour and a half or so of daylight.
He's going to plot around where the birds left for a bit.
Try and get there. Okay. Is anyone else? And Selena, are you? It sounds like you're being voluntold that you're going along with Werzium.
Yep, I can do that.
Sindaith, when you can hear Werzium's getting his gear ready.
Well, Sindaith is deep in thought. As I see the mage peering off into the sky, thinking Werzium heads off to the spot for the birds.
What do you think, Sindaith? You gonna wait here, or are you going with Werzium?
Yeah, I think I'll go with Werzium, but I think I want to tell him I think that's what we ought to do. So we ought to perhaps approach, I guess, for lack of a better word, or at least head in the direction of where those birds were, because that could lead us to where these totems are.
Okay. So then, go ahead.
Does
When you say lead, you mean because you would expect to find the totem from where they departed, or something else?
I'm not sure.
And Warzium like, oh, and like, oh, mages.
Hey, at least I'm honest.
So why don't you, let's see here, who wants to take the lead here with a wilderness survival check?
Oh, good lord.
He's pretty good at that, I think. What am I? I am a 10.
Your base
Combined
is 10?
10.
Okay. Selena, what is your base? I think, was yours quite good?
Same.
10 as
base
well?
10.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all 10s.
So you guys choose who would like to make the roll and add plus 1 from the assistants.
I guess it was my,
Okay. So, it takes you almost an hour of tromping around out here to try and really get to the point where you think that this thing may have been. And when you get there, what you see is it looks honestly like the earth is pulled up in a way such that it looks like two fairly large trees, like about a foot and a half across, were suddenly uprooted at one point, and relatively recently. There's no remaining roots or stump or anything like that. It's as if it was pulled up out of this earth and then gone. And you can see this seems to be the most recent disturbance, and it's almost like where the two things are, they're only about maybe 2 to 3 feet apart. So you can almost picture two legs rooted in the ground as if it was a tree that then went up. And you could give us an awareness check as well. If there's anything else you can pick up from here. I should confirm once again that I'm using the right. Yeah, awareness is what I want to use. Who'd like to give an awareness check?
Oh,
Is that Warzium?
Any of you guys, if you're following.
have at it, Selena.
Nice. Once again. So, Selena, you're looking up, and you can almost picture, again, this is a very old forest, so there's lots of it that's bent in, that's all, clustered in, and you can see there's some broken branches near the higher bits, and there's bits where, like, the larger limbs have been sort of pushed aside, almost like you can see a negative space, like a vacant, where something was at one point towering next to these trees, disturbing and breaking some of the higher branches, and then uprooting itself and disappearing. There is no trail to follow here. It just seems to be up and gone. Whereas this is everything you've read about Aleshin before.
Do I know how big Aleshin is? What's its
Pretty fucking big, like, tall as easily tall as some of the older, like, firs or other coniferous trees.
So it's a tree. Is it a tree?
Yeah, well, it's a forest spirit, and they manifest as, if it is a lesson, you can think of like a very angry tree that has vaguely bestial features to it. Some are said to have big antlers, like an elk or a deer. Not actual antlers, but like twisted tree limbs that seem to appear like that, and horrific tearing claws, like fingers like giant spear points.
Well, we seem to have found where it was.
There is no
Let's make
sign of
sure
a
it's-
totem here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing more to be learned here. I imagine.
You said that
All
they
right.
had links with humans from nearby, maybe somebody in the tower.
Yeah, quite possible. Yeah. It would not be surprising, you would think, that it would put one of its totems near this settlement to keep its options open.
There are only about 40, maybe not even that many, maybe 20 knights that are actually stationed here. It's really only a 3-story tower, so it's not a huge amount here. The town of Kirau, that is a little larger. That's like 200 people. And it is less than a day's travel away. And from here all the way through to Lomazi, vast stretches of forest. So, of course, you know what that means.
Yeah, random
Lots of pretty
encounters.
walking.
Well, let's go see about our protector, he says with a bit of sarcasm in his voice, and see about a meal, and we can discuss further.
Okay. As you turn to walk away, why don't you each give us an awareness check once again, please? And remember to be ticking off those ones you've used. 21 for Selena. My goodness. So I think, Selena, you're the one who would notice this then. You look and you can see high up on one of the fir trees, perched there, seemingly watching you, a raven.
Just for a change. One day there'll be a budgie.
You guys are going to a mine. Expect a canary. Do you say anything, Selena, or do you ignore it at this point?
Oh, I just say there's another one of those dratted flying rats up there.
I feel like we should get you a
takes
sling,
you 2 moments to
Selena.
see. You see, because of your role, you see immediately where she's talking about.
Your stilettos have served you well, but I feel like we should get you proficient in a sling, perhaps.
I'm thinking the same, something that's quite offing things like that.
You know, if you guys did save the tower here, and they do, while they may not be able to offer an awful lot of amenities, they certainly are not short of weaponry here.
What about repairs?
There's a blacksmith in here, but again, like, the thing you're trying to do, you kind of got to wait till it's broken. Otherwise, it's just, you're tearing apart a perfectly good sword.
Wurzim has a white whale, and it's repaired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My kingdom for repairs.
I will say the repair. I get what they're going for with the repair thing in this, but because of you kind of have to wait till it breaks, the equipment weathering mechanic in Blackbirds is, I think, a more gameable and more fun mechanic than this, because this is just like, it's a check that you're going to have to pay at some point. You can have a player character play that role as a craftsman, which is kind of cool. But even then, you're still sort of like, it's just a paycheck that you're going to have to. It's a paycheck. It's a bill you're going to have to pay at some point. And I see what they were going for with it. It's neat, but I think it's not quite as fun as and flavorful as what it could be. But I mean, you guys know how loath I am to do house rules, so
Yes.
surely no way of addressing that.
So we'll head back. I think we'll head back in. We'll head to the keep.
Okay. As you, as soon as you get without, outside of eyesight, you hear the flapping of a bird's wings, and you have an idea of what might be happening. The caw of a raven. You guys get back to the tower shortly. The sun is low, so it's probably casting long shadows because of the surrounding mountains. The neck gets pretty dark pretty quickly, it seems. But you do have, it seems that someone's, one of the things that, I'm picturing that the meals in here are kind of like firehouse style, where like one person takes charge of the, of the cooking, and it's a big, hot and maybe not like fancy, but it's certainly a hearty meal that you're going to get out of this. And you have an evening, where you're going to be eating with a bunch of it's not a feast or anything like that, but you are sharing a table with a bunch of the members of the knights. Anything you guys wish to discuss tonight or do tonight? Everyone's
check in on
stamina tops up, by the way, too.
Check in on Sir Richard. Obviously, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, like his armor's doing. Thanks to Sindife's magic, like it's set quite well, but it will take some time for it to actually heal, for it to properly mend. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. His body's probably around there. Looks like 5 days. 5 days until it's until it's finally back to normal. Which is, for a broken arm, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Or fractured arm, I should say, not fully broken. Yeah, so he's going to take -1 to actions with that arm for 5 days, but then after that it'll be good.
Selena, if you want to...
he says,
weapon.
Is this more of what... more what struck Lanalor?
The presence of the birds is hard to mistake, and the intention of destruction as well. I would assume. I can't know for sure, but I would presume. Yes. And we are headed right into it too, I would think. The Leshen, in the form of a flock of birds, was heading in the direction we're going, so...
And is this something... Are you the bearing of this ill tiding? Or is this coincidence?
Well,
you can tell from his tone as well, he's not accusing, he's genuinely asking. He doesn't, he's unfamiliar with this stuff, and...
There's no reason to think that we brought it. It's more along the lines of perhaps our task has triggered its ire. So it's not, so if I do not have any notion that, for example, that if we left the area, that this would stop. It's more, whatever it's worried that whatever we are going to do is going to continue, but it's afraid we're going to stop it. It would be my guess. So when your enemy screams unhappily, you're doing something right, not wrong. As my father used to, I don't know, not my father probably, but
yeah, you're turned over as a child. Yeah, as
my trainer used to say when he was shooting arrows at me.
Yeah. It's the Muhammad Ali style of training.
Yeah. Selena, you want to maybe look around for something that'd be useful for you?
Well, yeah, there's nothing really I can use. We would have to invent the sling.
Oh, hold on. Is it not in the core rulebook?
No, there's no slings.
Hold up. We got DLCs to look at.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah, let me take a look here, because the DLCs introduced in one of those Rodolph's wagon things. They introduced a bunch of new stuff. Let's see here.
True.
Ooh, weighted net.
Oh.
bag of marbles.
I've lost
That can work.
Yeah. Okay, poniard. Well, that says actually what he's armed with.
Definitely after one.
One uses
Definitely after
shovel.
one of those poniards when I can find one.
There's a shovel or torch.
What about a bow? I mean, slings kind of seems thematically, kind of Selena-ish, but a bow's not crazy.
No, and I think that like the reason if it's not in there, the main reason may be because it's not like slings is more of like a biblical era thing. The technology for this era would have advanced to the point that even someone can put together a crude bow or something like that. So probably not even hunting with slings. Also, no halflings in here, so no need for it. Actually, that's not true. There are halflings. There are halflings in the setting. So what am I talking about?
Like a short bow would be, I think, would be quite useful to Selena.
I don't think that's very Selena-ish, though, because she doesn't carry obvious weapons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a tool.
They're all hidden.
Short bow would be a tool as much as a weapon.
Maybe Werzium will toss one at her.
Plus, she has no skill in it whatsoever.
That would be the problem. Yeah, so
I
it's
think she'll
not.
just need to.
Even the ranged weapons are. What do you call it? For the elder folk are still like bows or crossbows. Monster Hunter's crossbow. Yeah.
I guess the slings maybe went out with the Romans.
Yeah, exactly. I think their high point was taking out a.
Oh, hang on. Slings in medieval.
I don't see anything in the DLC. There's a bunch of extra weapons that are in there, but not slings. So.
Oh well, sadly.
Yeah, so if you want that, you have to get a crossbow or a short bow, and get good at it. Okay. So. Anything else you guys wish to do tonight? Anything you wish to discuss with these people? Sindythe, do you have any insight as to answering Sir Richard's questions and those of his fellows? The oldest guy, the one who seems to run this place, is a knight named Sir Bogdan.
I can't think of anything really.
So thanks to your magic, Sir Richard will still be able to accompany you tomorrow.
Good.
So he and the footman. I think they will not spare for fear of the Leshy attacking again. I guess do you have any suggestions, Witcher, for what to do if this thing returns to the keep? Are there precautions we could take?
Fire is quite effective. It seems to specialize, especially against the trees, but even wolves are no fans of it. So I would keep fires readily available to be able to be stoked, to be ignited and stoked for immediate application to this Leshen's foes or Leshen's tools. For one thing. Certainly be, as you're almost surely would anyway, just be cautious against anything strange. Keep an eye on your animals, which the Leshen can, obviously, as you've just witnessed, can make use of in nefarious ways.
Sir Richard looks at uses. Then should we travel on foot then, and leave the horses here, lest they be turned against us?
Especially since we're not all on horses anyway, that may be just as well.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm very glad I'm not on a horse. Nasty, dangerous things.
I will. This ability of Leshens to use their totems to have a line to humans. Does that mean like does that mean he would control the human? Is that what I'm thinking is the case?
What you know, I think that's not necessarily known. There's definitely a mystical connection between them, but at least as far as your common Witcher knowledge goes, you're not sure. Whether that means that they control them, or the humans control the Leshen, or there's some kind of symbiotic thing. If you're talking about this out loud, Sindaith, you certainly, humans traditionally seem to think of anything that is non-human as a potential threat and see it only through that lens. Your folk of old knew how to work and live in concert with these things. There is give and take, and a demigod of the forest will certainly have very specific things it asks of you that may seem strange and alien, but there's also huge benefits that could be, if it controls all things of the forest, living, whether plant or animal. You can imagine how much easier that could make life for those living in it.
But in any case, it would cause a human ally of the Leshen, right? A human to be an ally of the Leshen in one way or another.
Whether advertently or inadvertently, absolutely.
So I will take Sir Richard aside, I think, for a private conversation, or at least, private from his comrades.
Sure. So you can step outside, maybe talk about strategy for defending, you could maybe soak, these areas in pitch or oil and have them ready to burn more easily.
And I will say to him when others are not around, and when others of his comrades are not around, I will mention to you, Sir Richard, that the Leshen can use these totems to increase its power in various areas. It can have a number of these totems throughout a forest, depending on how old and powerful it is. One potential ability these totems give it is to have some connection with a human that would cause that human to be an ally of the Leshen. I'm not certain of the particulars of how it works. I say that because
they're possessed. Is it a demon?
No, I don't believe. I don't think the demons are involved, right, Kevin? I mean, it's not a demon.
No, you would know that the demons, like the thing that hunts Dr. Gravek, is a wholly different kind of thing. Demons are from another world, and whatnot. Leshen are ancient primal things that actually predate humans here.
Yes, no, I don't think demonology is involved, but these Leshen are ancient and powerful creatures of the forest, spirits of the forest, and they can seek out allies which could be human using their powers. I don't know that it would be a possession, but it could be simply some kind of deep persuasion. I don't know the details, but in any case, it is something to keep one's eye on if someone is behaving peculiarly. I'm mentioning it in private to you because I don't wish to cast aspersions.
He leans in. Could mages pact with such a thing?
I don't know why not.
There is... The Siedza have, I mentioned, they have a man called Marco, who some say was, at one time, one of your kind. You know much of these things, and he's seen wandering the woods, and seems at home in them. Could one of your kind be bound to such a creature? I would hate to think that the Siedza would be acting against our kind, acting against the Duke. But old grudges are hard to pass, and if he has an ally like you, who has such a creature at his command...
I suppose it's possible. I mean, I would not, for the same reason that I'm pulling you aside quietly to tell you this and not saying it in front of everyone, I would not presume this of anyone. So there needs to be, obviously, I do not wish to spread dissension through unsubstantiated questions about people's loyalty. That there's no evidence for. So is it possible? I suppose it is, but I would not presume it without substantial reason of thinking so.
I mean, you have heard obviously of Witchers gone wrong, before but you're trained to hunt them. Like, that's primarily what the Witcher's training is. I suppose that also affords you, by knowing all their weaknesses and their strengths and capabilities and whatnot too, that does put you in a position to potentially also become a confederate of them. But that would be really... It's either really bad or really unlikely in your mind.
Yes, I mean, I'll say it... I think it's highly unlikely. It flies in the face of our nature. So that makes it a lot less likely. There are some that are going to be more susceptible to it because they are more open to suggestion. They are open to riches. They are open to things at any cost. Whereas, the Witcher at his, certainly, not all Witchers have turned out the same, but our fundamental nature is to fight and destroy these things, to fight and destroy monsters. So the notion of falling in league would be directly in contradiction to our creation.
Does it mean anything to know that the Siedza have, for centuries, kept ravens?
I'm afraid I can only give the typical unsatisfactory answer of maybe.
Give us a human empathy check, please.
Oh, here we go. See, he just does this on
we are approaching the end of the session, so if you do want to spend your luck, remember it refreshes at the start of each session.
That won't help. I would need like 50, yeah, just kidding. But yeah, sure. I'll use luck.
Okay.
It's a good call. That's a good call. I'm sorry, which one?
Human empathy, please.
Human
Just look for that zero on the...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They're still looking to be done. They're all zeros. So, human perception?
Is it human perception? I think maybe that's what it's called. Yeah. Where's my screen with my skill sheet on it? Come on. So this is only,
was it a 10? Did I need a 10?
It was not. It would be a 12 you would need for this. So you must lose 1. Now, Selena, we established last time that you'd like to sneak out after Werzium when he goes to try and do secret stuff. Would you have done the same here?
I would, because the old fool always gets himself in trouble.
Okay, why don't you give us first a stealth check, please?
Stealth, where have you gone? Here we go.
Okay, yeah, no one has any clue that you're there. Would you like to give us a human perception check? You can definitely pick up on the tone.
Human perception.
Yes, Sir Richard. And if you could, again, spend luck if you choose.
Oh, I'll go with luck.
Okay.
Anyway.
So even with a fumble, that's still better.
Then Worthium's roll.
It's only going to cost you 1 luck because you only needed a 12 to get to it. This is pretty obvious. For Dr. Graveek's initial concerns with the Knights of Creve and the Knights of the Forefather, I should say, was that Creve, they can be seen as very, racist, that very anti-non-human in this. And over the time you spent with Sir Richard, that doesn't seem to be the case. However, that is not to say he's free of prejudices, because the way he keeps going back to Ciezza, old grudges die hard. And this grudge has got to be at least 8 generations deep from the time that the mine was originally set down. And the way that he seems to want to find another reason to be suspicious of the Ciezza is very telling. This is... his biases seem to be pretty evident, although Worthium seems not to be picking up on it. So with that, Worthium, is there anything else in secret you wish to speak to Sir Richard about? I suppose the other thing he asks is there any preparations that need be done before we go? Anything we should bring with us?
So I will finish my point with Sir Richard to say that I'm telling you because I know you, and perhaps I will leave it up to you whether you want to entrust someone here at the keep that you trust implicitly with this information, probably of rank, that can keep an eye, just in case, on whether the Leshen may be working some kind of mischief with some human here. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case. I'm saying it's possible. So at your discretion, at your, probably using the word in both ways, quiet discretion, you may perhaps find it wise to tell someone to keep, so that they're aware of this. I'll leave it up to you.
Sir Bogdan. I would trust him with my life.
Very good. As far as preparation, probably the ability to wield fire. The mage has shown his worth a number of times with his burning proclivities, but it would be probably wise for whoever's coming with us. I'm sorry about your man, by the way. I'm referring to as the deceased.
Such things can't be viewed. It's hardly your... You had no hand in what happened to him, and the correct way to view it is that I suffered merely a temporary inconvenience, and he gestures at his arm. Without you and the elf, I don't know how we would have defeated these things.
Selena in the bush notes, and I dragged him out, and he didn't mention me.
Marking it down in the book of dragons.
You're getting left next time.
Which is one of my heaviest possessions.
Yeah. Right next to your upcoming crossbow. Wait till we get that crossbow in your hands. At one point you had told me, Kevin, at the front end of the engagement, fire and something else. What am I?
Moondust.
Did you say it?
Moondust bomb. And again, with something that is able to work, whose powers seem like akin to magic, dimeritium.
Yes.
I've already forgotten how to say it.
We'll roll.
Dimeritium, yeah, okay, there we go. Dimeritium bomb would likewise be extremely potent. Now, you don't... I misspoke a few sessions back and said that you have all the diagrams. You actually have fairly limited. You start with, I believe, one or two things. So I don't know which ones you have selected.
I'm not even sure. I'm entirely, because I had at Caregin, I think I maybe I have to look this up, but I'll say off the top of my head, I think I actually was supposed to get one. I don't know if I ever actually picked which one, but in any case, I will tell him. Do we have Sir Richard? Is there an alchemist here?
There's not.
I see. I would say fire for us, fire for everyone. That's the easy one. Besides that, there are alchemist tools. There are alchemist substances, moon dust. That if you had an alchemist, I would pass that along to him or her. In addition, you've of course heard of the substance dimeritium.
Yes.
This is useful because these Leshens, their power is magic, and these dimeritium is
Is there any more
against it.
common or approach? I mean, what? Yeah,
Fire.
Fire. Then we will. I'm just looking to see if there's oil. There is something called quickfire, which is an alchemical agent. It is, I think. Let's see here. The rarity, availability is poor. So regional or army-specific weapons that are made at a specific location. So quickfire is probably not available.
Like the green fire of Game of Thrones, or whatever they called it.
Yeah. What did they call it? Was it Dragonfire? No, it was called Wildfire. Was that right?
I don't think.
I don't know. It's been so long since I watched that season. I don't remember. In any event.
It is called Wildfire. Wildfire.
Is it Wildfire? Yes, you.
Wildfire.
It's like fucking bong resin. It's just nothing but nonsense that's collected up there that sometimes shakes loose. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, I think, guys, with you guys packing up, having driven off the Leshen, I think that brings us to a close for today's session. So,
yeah,
everyone will get
a beating.
Yeah, you guys did really well today, and it's against a difficult adversary. I think we'll go with 7 IP for today.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah. And you certainly can spend that between now and next session. So then, let's bring ourselves back to the main map here, or main page, and make with the outro. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session. This is Chapter 9 of the Season of Ravens. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, What You're Gone Wrong is your Sisters of Mercy cover band.
Yeah.
That's great. I was listening to Sisters of Mercy is I can't remember what the song is called, but it's at All Your Cities. Is that Sisters of Mercy, or is that...
No, that's Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, there's a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where I don't think we have a channel dedicated to The Witcher, but we do have a Assorted Games channel that we talk about a bunch of different things. But we do have channels dedicated to most every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels like Finding a Group, or like Convention Chat. Tons of great people. There's a terrific community over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There is also a link down below to the charity initiative that we run on the channel called Heroes Save Villages. That benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. And we have, first off, all donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And there is also, as a small way of saying thank you for the donors, one thing we do is in December we'll be having our next charity raffle. And if you have donated since June 15, 2022, every $25 Canadian that you donate will give you one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. In addition, there is a link down below. Let's hear no. So that's one of the ways we say thank you. If you want to see what prizes were awarded, my brains are ready to go for a nap already, so it's just shutting down midway through the outro. If you want to see what was awarded last time, you can go to the Charity Initiatives channel and see a full list of all the prizes that were given out last time. We'll be giving away something similar this time. And in addition, there's also our next charity session will be at the end of this month, and we'll be returning to a channel favorite, which is Modifius Entertainment's Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of, the 2D20 game. And starting later today, I'll be setting up voting for every week leading up to the session. And donors who have donated since June of 2022 will be able to vote to help us shape what kind of game we're going to be playing. There's tons of great options offered by that game at this point in the publication history. So we're going to give you lots of different cool things to vote on. Every week we'll add a new aspect to the adventure, and then we'll be running that at the end of, end of the month. We've got a bunch of people who are trying to make extraordinary accommodations to be able to join from when on vacation or when abroad. So Dave is trying to figure out if he can get his girlfriend to attend for a spa while they're in Banff so he can join the session. Yeah. And nice. George is trying to work out what the time zone difference will be when he's in Scotland so he can join. So it's going to be a really fun session. I think it's a great game, and we always have a lot of fun with that. And again, all donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. It just goes to help out those kids. So you get a chance to win some cool gaming stuff to help shape what we're playing on the channel, and to help some kids who could really use some help. Last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart adventurers once again. So Sean, Will, James, thank you so much for joining me either at this ungodly early hour or middle of the afternoon for James. So thanks, everybody. We will be back in heading into the Duchy of Rava in 2 weeks' time. And until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are encountering in the deep, dark forests of the northern continent. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.